Hello, everybody, and welcome back to All Things Football. Where today we will be rounding off the European fixtures that have been played this week in the Champions League and the Europa League, and we'll be looking forward to this weekend, which involves a couple of big fixtures, including Manchester United versus Chelsea. Now, we're just going to start with the Champions League. Obviously, it was Tuesday and Wednesday. Tottenham not quite in the Champions League, but they also played on Wednesday. What were your thoughts on the results that happened this week?
Obviously Chelsea, they won away from home against Atletico 1-0. Olivier Giroud overhead kick. And I think, we expected the Atletico, they don't really attack unless they're playing counter-attacking. So Chelsea, obviously, they had most of the ball and then they took their chance. But it's very risky now, Atletico away from home. It's a very risky game. What about you?
To be perfectly honest, I had to re-watch the game because I wasn't watching it live as I was watching. I think it was Atalanta versus Bayern Munich. But I feel like everybody has a common misconception of Atletico Madrid. Of Atletico Madrid, I feel like they were surprised when Chelsea were kind of dominating the ball, um, having just the overall general better play. Atletico Madrid are a team that like to sit back. They rarely concede goals, and if they do, they never concede more than one. Diego Simeone himself is just like a better version of Jose Mourinho, in my opinion, in this current climate. A 1-0 lead away from home in the Champions League is usually a good result, but I am quite scared for Chelsea because Atletico
Mm.
Madrid definitely have the quality to come and absolutely, just kill them.
Yeah, they literally only
In
need two goals, and then Chelsea will need two goals as well.
people have to remember Atletico Madrid is sitting top of La Liga, and everyone's going to say, "Oh, it's because Real Madrid and Barcelona are having a bad season," but still, Atletico Madrid are top of La Liga. Suarez has been amazing this season.
Mm.
He isn't on the best of form at the moment, but they got Suarez, they've got Yao Felix as well, who's obviously I wouldn't say a generational talent, but he's very close to being
Yeah.
one. Um, I am scared for Chelsea. I do think Atletico Madrid will go through, but obviously they will have to play very hard because Chelsea obviously have been quite good since Thomas Tuchel came
Mm.
in. So it's going to be a very, very interesting matchup. I think it's going to be a Stamford Bridge.
Yeah. And then obviously Bayern Munich, ruthless, 4-1 against Lazio. And the thing is, Lazio, they're
That's
not a
that's
bad
sad.
team. They're not a bad team, but 4-1 just makes it it shows the difference in levels. You obviously said that you're watching that game. What was your
Yeah.
analysis of the game?
I believe that Lazio came into the game with the wrong game plan. And I say that with the most respect because they would have come into that game thinking, yeah, we're Lazio. We're going to be able to play the way we usually play in Serie A. And you can't do that against Bayern Munich. If you're playing against Bayern Munich, you have to defend as a unit. You have to defend with the most concentration you've ever defended with in your life. And I feel like we're too open. He's an interesting player. Starting against Lazio in the Champions League, which obviously um, Hansi Flick, I think, has in him. Um, they had too much pace attack. He can't keep up with the general play, and just shows the but it's nothing. It's nothing less than we expected a rampant win for
Hmm.
Bayern Munich.
Yeah, I can see Alex. You're Alex. I see you. We're coming for you on Sunday. We'll get onto that. We'll get onto that soon. Obviously,
Oof.
Chelsea, Man U on Sunday, but yeah, we'll get into that. But yeah, in terms of Bayern Munich, their youngster Jamal Musiala, I think he said that he's chosen to represent Germany,
Yes,
and I think that's the right
country as well.
decision. But Jamal Musiala, he's good. He's very good, and he's
I
so
feel
young
like
as well.
it was a mistake by Chelsea to let him go.
Mm.
Another mistake. Chelsea's youth system is an incredible place. They loan out players until they're 29. They let go of the wrong players and keep the wrong ones.
Yeah,
It's just Musiala starting for Bayern Munich regularly and in the Champions League and crunch games. And to think last season he wasn't even no one. Who
yeah.
was
No
he
one
last
knew who
season?
he was. Yeah, I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
He's just there scoring in the Champions League for Bayern Munich, and he's in the first team.
Mm.
He starts. Obviously, Muller's out for. Bayern Munich, and obviously he stepped up and he's doing well.
I
And then
mean,
yeah,
he was playing when Muller was there, but it's just he's now able to grow.
yeah, he can play in like the 10. He was playing like on the wing when Muller was there, but now he's actually taking Muller's role in the 10 and is doing well. And then on to Wednesday, Real Madrid away to Atalanta, 1-0.
That's it.
Scored in the 80th, I think it was 83rd minute.
Great
Mendy,
finish from Mendy. Great finish.
yeah, on his weak foot as well, outside the box. That was a great finish. I don't really know too much about Real Madrid. I don't know if they're a threat, but obviously you can't really write them off in the Champions League. But their team isn't as strong as it's been in previous seasons.
Definitely. Real Madrid are a tricky team at the moment. They have their long-serving players like Ramos and Benzema, but I feel like they're trying to build for the future. They obviously like to shop in Brazil. They have Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo Goes. Boy, I don't know who was saying Vinicius Jr. was better than Rashford. I don't know who was saying he was the generational talent, but my gosh, he's one of the most overrated players I've seen come out of Brazil in a very long time. I worry for Real Madrid, even though I'm not the biggest fan of them, because I don't know what type of direction they're going in. La Liga is always going to be the big three, Atletico, Madrid, Real Madrid, and Barcelona. But in the Champions League, I feel like they're going to drop off. Obviously, they won 4 in 5 years, but ever since then, they haven't been up to the levels they were posting. A lot to do with the departure of Cristiano Ronaldo and not being able to find an adequate replacement. But this season they're just scraping by. And I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if Atalanta were able to knock them out.
The thing is, Real Madrid, they can easily rebuild. They can easily get a Paul Pogba in the summer, get a Haaland, get an Mbappe, and then it's all over for everyone else. That's the thing with Real Madrid. And it could actually happen. I could see like a Haaland, if he doesn't go to the Prem, then he's definitely going to go to Real Madrid. Or even Mbappe or Pogba, as we know, could leave United. So Real Madrid, they might have a strategy in mind, but obviously right now they're just using the players they have, and there has to be a plan at Real Madrid. They can't just accept not making it to the finals when they had made it to the finals like 3 years in a row. They have to recruit players this summer.
You see, that's the thing. You say there's definitely a plan. I don't. Whatever plan they have, I just don't like it's working, or they just don't really have one. They've always been a Galactico signing type of club. Every single summer, or at least every other summer, they sign the big player last. I think the last one was Hazard, or maybe even Eder Militao. But I just feel like football's changing in a way. Players, it's not everyone's dream to play for Real Madrid like it was 10 or 15 years ago. So you say they're trying to sign Haaland or Mbappe. It's looking less and less likely, in my opinion. I think players are more likely to come to the Premier League because recently we have been dominating Europe over the past couple of years. We've been posting the title races we've had. I didn't even realize other stuff was happening in other countries just watching our Premier League. The quality of teams are getting better. Manchester City are on a different level. Liverpool are obviously one of the best teams in Europe again. Manchester United are on the rise, and obviously we are probably the biggest club in the world. So I feel like that pull of Real Madrid, even the pull of Ronaldo at Real Madrid, it's not there anymore. Ramos is dwindling.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not seeing them as much in the media.
There isn't much competition, or in La Liga. It's not really much point. Who are you as a player, like as Haaland? If Haaland goes to Real Madrid, who are you battling against? What other player are you going to battle with?
Because if you come to the Prem,
there's people like Rashford, obviously Sterling, players like that who you're battling against.
About 25. You could even talk about Grealish.
Yeah,
you're battling and competing with these type of players. Even Aguero still, even though he's injury prone and getting on a bit. Salah, Mane,
Kane. There's numbers.
Exactly. I think La Liga was obviously Ronaldo and Messi's league, but other than those two superstars, they had a player in almost every team who was in the spotlight around the world. The Premier League wasn't like that for about 5 or 6 years, but now we're getting all of the best players in the world back, and it's gonna all that does. The better players we get, the better players want to come. Thiago supposedly one of the best centre mids in the world when he arrived, happily chose Liverpool. Haaland might be next. We're linked to him very strongly. Mbappe as well is linked to Liverpool. Jadon Sancho, just those three players alone. If we were able to import them, then we're going to dominate.
Yeah, especially like how a few seasons ago, people like Mbappe, Haaland were really linked with Spanish moves, but now obviously the shift has turned to the Premier League, because obviously the Premier League is the league everyone wants to be in, and I think players are less afraid to come to the Prem, like we saw with Timo Werner, Kai Havertz. Usually those type of players may not want to come to the Prem, may just look for a move like to Spain, but to see them come to the Prem shows that there's like a shift in perspective and thought of like the Premier League.
Yeah, and even the smaller, smaller clubs in relation to the big 5 or 6, they're able to sign incredible players. Look at Everton; they signed Allen. I mean,
And
he was a player
Rodriguez
that
as
was
well.
linked. Exactly. You're looking at one of the best players in the world when he was in his prime. Rodriguez playing for Everton now. It's weird, and I'm glad it's happening, because we're seeing a lot more competition and
Yeah,
everything's so much tighter, which is obviously great from a
yes,
neutral point of view.
yeah, definitely. And obviously we're talking about City. They won 2-0 away from home to Mönchengladbach. I think we can say they're through.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bernardo Silva and I think it was Jesus. Yeah, Cancelo had a great game for them actually. I think he was man of the match.
He's been amazing this season.
He was playing left back as well this time. He's such a versatile player, and just the way that Pep uses him is it's amazing. He plays like a centre mid.
Yeah.
Like their system is it's amazing to watch.
It's something that I've said about Pep. He's a genius. Guy managing Manchester City, but can't fault what he does and how he does it. He plays a style of football that no other manager can even get their head around. I mean, in past seasons, Manchester City in the Champions League always look like they're about to slip up. They always look like there's against Lyon last season in the knockout rounds. They were knocked out, but again, it wasn't really a surprise. But this season, they just look like a completely different outfit. They don't look like they're going to lose to anyone. And it's scary because they want them to win the treble, but it looks like a genuine possibility. And I
think it's down to their squad depth. Like even De Bruyne, I don't think De Bruyne was playing, but the quality they have on the pitch and on the bench. So it doesn't matter if Bernardo Silva is on the bench, you have Mahrez. If De Bruyne is on the bench, you have Foden. If Sterling's on the bench, you have Jesus or Ferran Torres or whoever. There's squad depth, and everyone can do the role well. That's the thing with Man City. Everyone knows their role, and they do it to perfection, and they just easily beat team like 2-0 without conceding a goal, and they move on. They're very efficient with what they do, and Pep is obviously the best manager in the world at the moment.
I mean, you have to remember about Mönchengladbach, they're not a bad team. They're doing really well this season, and they have Thuram and Alassane player up front. Lars Dindal is a veteran of the game, but he's still managing to perform at the highest level. They brushed them aside like they were playing the Championship. That just goes to show how much Manchester City have improved since last season. And again, going to talk about their defence. Their first choice defence is it's definitely the best in the Premier League. I'm not sure about Europe. Cancelo especially has been their best defender this season. Forget about Ruben Diaz. Cancelo, left back, right mid. He plays everywhere. Yeah. And sometimes you just run out of things to say about their players and their team, the way it functions. But I will say it's great to see Raheem Sterling with the captain's armband.
Yeah. He's earned it. The way Pep Guardiola has changed Sterling. There's things like that that Guardiola's done to improve players. Sterling went from someone who obviously he was talented, he had potential, but then Pep Guardiola like harnessed it and developed it, and now we're seeing Sterling scoring goals, assisting goals, and now he's the lead on the pitch. And that just I think all comes down to Pep.
Yeah, I mean they signed him for 50 million, I think, from Liverpool when he was still a teenager, and obviously he got a lot of hate for that. It's talking about he's just going for the money. He's not serious about football, but he's really gone on to prove the haters wrong. Obviously, within the media as well, he used to receive a lot more hate. Make of that what you will. I believe it was beyond football. But now I want to say, the third choice captain for Manchester City behind Fernandinho and Kevin De Bruyne. But he's playing in a system which is, I think, perfect for him. He's able to express himself fully, and he's scoring 20 plus goals every season. And you can't deny that he's one of the top 5 wingers in the world at the moment.
Let's not forget he's also second choice captain for England as well.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing achievement as well. And yeah, I think just Pep. If we had Pep at Man U, I don't even think our players are good enough to have Pep.
But the thing is, he would improve them. That's what Pep's good at. He's good at improving the players he has in his squad. And he's done that with everyone. I can't think of a player that's, I would say apart from Gabriel Jesus, I can't think of a player that's just stagnated their progress under Pep Guardiola.
Yeah. And then also, let's move on to Europa League, the best European competition at the moment.
Elite level, it's where you want to watch your elite level football.
Yeah. Arsenal, Benfica. I didn't watch the game, but I was seeing when I saw 1-1 and then I think it was 2-1.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, Arsenal, they bossed it again. What did I expect? And then Aubameyang, Saka. Let's just talk about Saka.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about Aubameyang because that was the Saka show.
He is carrying Arsenal at the moment. He's got the whole team on his back, and it's just.
You're looking at a 19-year-old who's the best player they have, in my opinion, in terms of technical ability. He's so interesting to me because he looks like he's not trying.
Yeah, I get
you know what I mean? Is not his body language,
but the way
he never looks like he's in full gear.
It's so easy.
Yeah, it's effortless. Even the way he kicks the ball, it just looks like.
Well, it's so such a light touch, and it just gets there.
Yeah, I think. I know he's playing out of his skin at the moment, but I genuinely don't think he's playing to his full ability.
Yeah, I feel like he can definitely do much more. Like, I've seen clips of him from the youth team. In the youth team, he obviously was working, like scoring so many more goals because he had to prove that he could be in the first team. And now I feel like obviously he can do more. And
his passing is very, very looked over. His cross for Aubameyang's header was one of the most inch perfect crosses I've seen this season. It's a shame he's at Arsenal, because I do slightly feel like his talent might be going to a bit of a waste because he's not going to be winning anything. But it's great to see Bukayo Saka, an English talent, just tearing it up wherever he plays.
And he's, as you said, wherever he plays, he's a very versatile player. Started off at Arsenal in left back, and then he went to right wing, left wing, even Cam.
Yeah.
So, and obviously he made his England debut. I think his England debut was left back, or was it left wing?
It was left wing back in a 3-back or 5-back formation.
He's such a versatile player, and obviously he must be in Gareth's thoughts for the Euros.
I can't see a way that Saka doesn't get into that squad, and I can't see a way that he won't be starting, but he's definitely in the I don't know what it's called, the preliminary squad, and then they cut some players out. He's definitely in the final squad.
Yeah, he has to be.
Yeah.
And then Aubameyang, I think he scored 2 goals. Back in form. People were saying that obviously he's out of form, he's lost it, he's not back, he's not going to get back to his best, and he just proves everyone wrong. He's obviously a goal scorer, everyone knows that, but obviously he had a bad patch of form, but he's back, and he's back.
He's a proven goal scorer over the last 7 or 8 years. It's just unfortunate for him that he hasn't won more trophies. He's been playing in the Bundesliga, obviously, with Dortmund, competing against Bayern Munich. So, they're not going to be as successful as they would hope. And then he goes to Arsenal. He had the opportunity to go to Real Madrid, and he made it public that he wanted to play for Real Madrid. But obviously that didn't materialise. He's going to be remembered after his career for, I'm not sure what. And it's very disappointing.
I think that's the only thing. Premier League Golden Boot.
Yeah. For for a player of his quality, I just don't think that's good enough.
I
I
mean,
feel like in a way he's
mm,
chosen the easy route in his career.
yeah, and obviously he got the new contract, so that was as soon as he got the new contract, being the highest paid player, there was no way he's gonna leave after that.
Yeah.
And obviously he was made captain as well, so there's not much more he can do. He can't just leave the club, and obviously it's too late now. And that's his
Yeah, and
career at Arsenal.
it's looking like Harry Kane's going to go down the same route.
Yeah,
Obviously, they'll be looking to win the Europa League this season, and they uh, they won. I'm pretty sure they won on Wednesday.
yeah,
Dele Alli with a lovely
yeah,
bicycle kick.
yeah.
That
What do you
was
think about Dele Alli? Why doesn't Jose play him?
in general.
Yeah, like in the Prem.
I don't know. I feel like Dele Alli's been up and down in terms of form and attitude. Obviously, when he broke into the Tottenham team, you could see he was trying. He just came from League One, I think. So you have to try 20 times as hard. And then I feel like all the speculation linking him with a team like Real Madrid, Manchester United, the big boys, it got to his head. And I'm pretty sure I don't know if this was on or off record, he said, do you know the amount of teams that want me? The fame and the talent got to his head, and he started to believe in his own source. And you could see it. He looked like he wasn't interested in football anymore. Obviously, he's a unique type of player in terms of his body type and his position. He looks more like I would say centre back. If I looked at him and so I said, "What position do you play?" I think centre back. He's 24 years old or 25, and last season he said, "My body can't do the things it used to be able to do."
That's not a good thing to say.
It's not,
At
and I
that
feel
young
like,
age.
yeah, his career looked like it was heading towards Crystal Palace, but with the arrival of Mourinho, he kind of kicked him up the arse a little bit and said, "Look, you need to fix up. We need to do this with you, this and that. You need to fix your attitude." And he looks like he's enjoying it all a little bit more now. And he's doing things that he was doing when he first came into Tottenham with the confidence.
Yeah. And obviously, like after his goal, he got an assist for Gareth Bale. Don't know if you saw the goal, but it was such a nice strike from Bale. He literally laid it off onto Bale's left foot. First time, top left corner. Great, it was a great goal.
Gareth Bale, I think, is in the same bracket as Dele Alli in terms of his looking like he's starting to enjoy his football a little bit more. And I hope for them and their sake, they start playing the football that got them the recognition in the first place, because they will be looking to win the Europa League this season. And I feel like that's the only trophy they can go for, realistically.
Yeah. Obviously, they're in the final of the Carabao Cup, but that's to Man City.
Yeah.
And we just expect City to win that comfortably. And then, yeah, we mentioned a few weeks ago, you mentioned Steven Gerrard potentially could be a great manager, winning 5-2 with Rangers. Did you see? What did you think?
I did see clips of the game. Gerrard, I'm pretty sure, is still unbeaten this season, and in February, closing in on March. I don't care what team you manage, that is dumb. That is dumb success. He's showing not all football players are good managers, but the football players that are good managers prove that they have a great understanding of the game and are able to teach and kind of like put their success on their players. Obviously, he's at Rangers. I don't think they're going to win the Europa League. It's looking very unlikely that they will with the teams that are left in the competition. But when he does come to the Premier League, and he definitely will manage Liverpool at some point, it's going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah,
I do think he's a better manager than Oli, by the way.
Yeah, of course. You can't just go unbeaten for no reason. You have to be doing something right. And obviously, Oli he's a good manager. We can't just say he's a bad manager because we're currently second. But yeah, Steven Gerrard's doing a great job, and clubs are going to want him after this season. Definitely, Premier League clubs are going to want to hire him after this season that Rangers are having at the moment. But someone who he's not doing very well or seems to like bottle it is Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah, my gosh.
Tino at home, Slavia.
I just don't know what his problem is. Like everywhere he goes, he bottles it. He just bottles it. Leicester last season with the top four, Liverpool in 13, 14 or 14, 15 with the Premier League title. Um, I just don't feel like he can't take his team past the final hurdle.
Yeah.
But I've always said Leicester are a good team, but they're not a really good team. They don't have that depth, and they
But
don't
the thing
have
is,
the
they were
top.
playing their best team. I'll say like they're playing their best team, but they just can't. I don't know what it is. Slavia. You just fully expect Leicester to win those kind of games. They beat teams like Liverpool in the Prem. They've been doing well in the Prem, but now it's Europe where that's their trophy. That's the only trophy that they're in, or that and the FA Cup. And you expect them to go further in the competition, but it's just disappointing for
Yeah,
Leicester and Brendan Rodgers.
well, I guess the only positive they can take out of this is that they can focus on the league now, because they can't take any positives out of the game they played. They would have been desperate to get further in the competition because they do need to win a trophy. Because apart from the Premier League, I don't think they've won anything in terms of top level trophies in the past decade. He's obviously safe in his job. They will be looking to reinforce because they are a very rich club,
Yeah, they are.
and I think they'll be playing Champions League football next season. So
Yeah, they're definitely going in the right direction. So they shouldn't be worried about recruitment. Like, I think they can attract players,
yeah,
and obviously they have a good youth system. Harvey Barnes came through their system, so they're
yeah,
obviously
the
doing
left back Luke
the right
Thomas as
thing. They're
well.
playing good football. They're obviously in the top four. So yeah, Leicester obviously a good team. They're a very good team. They're a well-run team. But it's just little things like that I guess fans will feel disappointed about, and obviously Brendan Rodgers will feel disappointed about as well.
Yeah, look, what can you do? It's happened now. They just need to focus on getting Champions League qualification next season, and I believe they'll do it.
Yeah, and they also play Man U in the FA Cup in the next round, so
Yeah,
they have that
that's
to
gonna
look
be
forward to.
that's gonna be a very very tough fixture for both teams.
Talking about Man U, 0-0 game against Real Sociedad.
I'm going to be so real. That game put me to sleep.
That game was. I actually watched the whole 90. I was expecting something to happen, and nothing happened. It was I wasted 90 minutes of my life watching
Yeah,
that game. I don't
it,
know.
it
It was
was
just there was a lack of
enthusiasm.
urgency, intensity. We got 4 goals. Let's just pass it around. Let's just not get injured. Let's not strain ourselves. We've got Chelsea at the weekend. Let's just
Yeah,
train. Let's just have this a run out, and
yeah.
that's what it was.
One thing I am glad. I will take a few positives from the game. Harry Maguire got a rest.
Perfect.
Bruno Fernandes was wearing a captain's armband, which Ollie
Perfect.
said was because he wouldn't let the standards drop. Um, Rashford looked like he played a decent game. Sure, tier.
Shorter. I'm pretty sure it's shorter. I don't know why the commentators are saying Shoretire or whatever.
It's definitely not sure
I think
tier.
it's shorter.
It's it's not. It's not
It's
actually.
not.
It's not. It's sure tier. Sure tier.
Shoretire. Okay.
Some there's emphasis on one of the e's, but it's a tricky name to say now. I will learn it very soon. But he got minutes.
Yeah.
Manchester United's youngest ever player to feature in Europe. Amad Diallo got a lot of minutes. One thing I do need to say is that Brandon Williams needs to learn, because he just looks like he's not good enough. He doesn't look like he has the ability to challenge Wan-Bissaka genuinely instead of just for fitness. I can understand the result and the performance a little bit more because of who we have on the weekend.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But at the same time, we should be disposing of Sociedad. I don't know what your thoughts are on the goal that was disallowed, but I feel like it should have been a goal. It's not Lindelof's fault that
The guy
he didn't jump.
do anything. Yeah.
Yeah,
Lindelof jumped for the ball to get the
Yeah,
ball.
yeah.
The guy just stood there and did nothing, and then
It's
Axel
ridiculous.
scored the goal. But at the
It would
same
have been
time, if that happened against us, that's what I was thinking. If that happened against us, I'd be calling a foul all day.
No, I genuinely wouldn't. I would be thinking, why are you not jumping? That's your fault. On every single every corner in history, the player on the front post jumps, but this time he didn't, and And it just so happens that Lindelof has probably jumped the highest I've ever seen
That
him jump.
yeah, that's fair enough. That because Lindelof jumped, obviously his knee's going to be higher.
Yeah, you
The other
can't.
guy just stood there. Obviously, his head's going to be in the way.
Yeah, like I don't. I know it's knee to face. It
Mm.
sounds bad, but given the context, I don't think it should be a foul. And if that's a foul, really, all a player has to do now is not jump on a corner and he gets a
Mm.
foul.
But
If it's like that,
yeah. Talking about defenders, let's talk about Eric Bailly, the most composed centre back. The guy was dropping shoulders in our own box,
no
doing
man, he
step
scares
overs
me.
in our own box. Tell me what other centre back can do that? No, your centre back can't ever do that. No one can do that. No one else can
I
do
think
that. What he can do.
Mertesacker tried to go a step over once and he broke his leg. So should we shouldn't laugh at that, but I mean, there's levels to this. there's levels to
Wow.
this.
Bailly.
Um,
I love to see it. I want to see him. He needs to play against Chelsea. I don't want to see Lindelof. I
I
want to
feel
see
like
Bailly. We need that security in terms of pace.
I feel like because of the pace they have out front with Werner, I think Bailly has to start.
He has to.
Um, I think he's our best centre back. Just hands down, I think he's our best centre back in terms of on the ball, dominance in the air. He's not as big as Maguire, but he's better than Maguire in the air. He's fearless. He puts himself in front of shots and he puts himself into challenges that I don't see anyone do. That's
And
why.
he
That's why he
works
gets
well
injured.
with the centre back partnership because obviously,
Yeah.
obviously Isaac was fast again,
Oh
and
gosh, yeah.
Lindelof was trying to catch him up, but then Bailly came out and covered and got the ball. And I think that's what we need against Chelsea because Chelsea obviously have Timo Werner, they have Hudson-Odoi, fast players who we need to defend against, and Lindelof and Maguire. If we play those two, we're going to get exploited unless we play deep and just play on the counter attack. But
That's what
we're going to do anyway. We're going to play on the counter attack. But
our whole system depends on who partners Maguire at the back. If Eric Bailly partners Maguire at the back, we're playing on the front foot. We're looking to dominate the ball and we're looking to just drown everything out and basically play on the edge of their area. If we play Lindelof, we're looking to drop deep because we have to, given who we have, and then we're looking to play on the counter attack. I'm in a way I'm scared if he brings Maguire and Lindelof back for Chelsea, because if we do, then I do feel like I just feel like we might lose. To be perfectly honest with you,
even playing on the counter attack will be difficult because Chelsea play with wing backs, so you can't necessarily play on the counter attack because if they have wing backs, they'll be covering our attackers. So I feel like we have to go toe to toe with them. We have to make an open game. We have to make it a cup game, just like how it was against Liverpool in the FA Cup. If you turn it into a cup game where it's back and forth, both teams want to score goals, I feel like we'll dominate in that regard.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Yeah, we'll see what Ollie does. Alex, I see in the comments. What do you think? Let us know what you think about Chelsea. How do you think you're gonna play us? But I feel like Chelsea, obviously, they like to keep the ball. Tuchel has turned them into a possession-based team. Just keep the ball, movements, defensive discipline. But I feel like the pockets of space are there for Bruno. If they're playing like 5 at the back, I don't know if they play 5-3-2. I don't know. I'm not too sure how they play. But the spaces will be there for Bruno. We probably won't have McTominay, we won't have Fred. It's looking like Twanzebe played CDM.
I really hope, I'm praying that Van der Beek is back all of a sudden. I am waiting for the pre-match press conference from Solskjaer, which I think might have already happened actually.
Yeah,
but we need an injury update indefinitely. And we would usually get one the night before the game as well, just with the travelling squad and photos and press photos and who's there and who's not. I don't want to see Axel Twanzebe in the CDM position because although he played all right there when he came on against Sociedad, I don't feel like he's comfortable there. He's all right on the ball, but to play in the DM against the top quality side at Chelsea, you have to be incredible on the ball.
Yeah.
Matic obviously is very good on the ball, although sometimes he does take too long. It also does make me think that we might be playing Bailly if Matic plays, because if we have Matic, Maguire, and Lindelof, we are not going to have any speed on the ball.
That'll be so
It's going to
slow.
play yeah. I think something has to even out there. It's just who partners him. If we could even play a one pivot in Matic. But I don't know. We just
and play on the
maybe
counter.
it just
But
depends who plays next.
Who plays up front? Who do you want to play up front?
Well, it has to be Martial or Greenwood. Rashford on the left. I don't want to see Rashford on the right. James will start.
He had a potential muscular injury. I'm not too sure if he's okay, but if he is okay, then he should play on the right.
Yeah, Diallo or Shaw retire.
If it's not, if James is injured, then it has to be obviously Greenwood and then Martial up front.
Yeah.
Back to the days before lockdown when we had Bruno, Rashford, Martial, and Greenwood.
Don't jinx it like that, because you know how Manchester United are. You want one thing, you get the complete opposite. All I hope is that we don't pick up any more injuries. One, between now and the match, and two, in the match, because they are starting to pile up a little bit. Obviously, Pogba's on his way back with Van der Beek and Cavani, so that's going to be a big boost. It's going to be around for the Manchester City, which is the fixture after Chelsea, I think, if I'm correct. Yeah, it's going to be a tough match.
Another tough game, Man City West Ham. That's the early kickoff tomorrow. Man City could potentially drop points. Do you see them dropping points?
No.
You don't? You think they're going to be ruthless?
I know West Ham have been brilliant this season and outperformed themselves, but Manchester City are Manchester City, and they are top by 10 points for a very good reason, and that's because they are just better than everyone else.
All I'm saying is don't write off our guy, Jesse Lingard. You can't write him off. You don't know. You never know how he's going to turn up. It's going to be at Etihad. Obviously, he knows all about Etihad. And West Ham are team in form. So, you never know. You never know. Man City's defence hasn't really been tested too much. West Ham could potentially. But City, as you said, they dominate the ball. They're very efficient with what they do. And I'm just trying to be optimistic. I want them to drop points. I hope it's a draw. I don't think they'll lose, but I'm saying a draw.
Manchester City will lose before the end of the season. They will drop a few points before the end of this season because it just happens. I do think Man City will win. I can't see a draw or a West Ham win, unfortunately. But I do hope that they drop points, obviously.
Another game on Sunday. Some of the big games on Sunday. We have Leicester Arsenal. Leicester Arsenal. It's always an exciting game. Arsenal have lost that game. I think they lost at home this season when it was the first fixture. Or they might have drawn. But it's a big game for both teams. Leicester, obviously, they want to remain joint second with Man U. And Arsenal, they're looking to push in to get close to the top 4 places or the top 6.
It's an interesting one because Leicester obviously aren't on the best of form right now. They just lost yesterday, and Arsenal seem to be on a bit of a high. I do feel like Leicester have the better team and the better manager, but I don't know. Just Aubameyang and Saka are in form. He's playing very well. I have an on-form, I'd say, centre mid in Granit Xhaka. Well, from what I've seen of him, it's going to be tricky. It's a game that I don't know. I can't call it at all.
Yes, the thing is with Leicester, as you said, they do play well, but obviously they've had dips in form. This could be their then another dip in form where they drop points. And obviously Arsenal, they're fully energized. Obviously coming back to beat Benfica yesterday, and I think Arsenal could probably win. Saka, Aubameyang, just informed players, and that's what Arsenal need. When their players in form, they're likely to win games. And I've said it before, I don't think Arsenal's starting 11 is that bad. They've got good players, but they just need to all be on it, and they'll perform.
Mm. I mean, Arsenal do the same thing. They've been through it this season, and are they going to go through another bad patch of form again? I'm not sure. Maybe I don't know. Leicester will be desperate for the Champions League, and know that a game against Arsenal is something that they need to win. I can't see them losing, if I'm totally honest with you.
But then there's the Sunday afternoon relegation battle: Sheffield United versus Liverpool.
Sorry. I mean, I didn't know who Sheffield United playing, but that was funny. That tickled me.
Relegation. Relegation battle is Sheffield are playing top 4 battling Liverpool. Evening kickoff. It's a big game. It's a very big game for both teams.
Liverpool, they're gonna win that.
You can't be certain. You can't be certain about that.
I think the golfing class is just too big. I know Liverpool aren't having the best season, but yeah.
You know what? I can't even say that Liverpool win. I can't say that. Sheffield have their form has gone up, and games like playing Liverpool energize players. When you're playing against a top team, they get energized, and Liverpool, they're not in form. So Sheffield could exploit that, and you never know what can happen with the Prem. That could be another upset. Could you even call it an upset? I don't know. About Liverpool.
David versus Goliath, isn't it? I think if Liverpool drop points in this game, top 4s are gone. They're not going to get top 4. I hope they drop points, and I want to see them in the Europa League next season. It would just be amazing. But I can't see them losing this game because of just the quality of that they have on the pitch alone. Whether or not they're playing badly or not, their players are just too good. And they will be boosted by Van Dijk's back in training, I think. So
yeah, I saw that.
That's scary for the other teams in the league or teams in the bottom half of the table at least.
Yeah, but isn't Jordan Henderson out?
Yeah, I believe he had a hamstring injury in one of the last games they played. I think he's out for the season. That is a tremendous blow because I've said it a couple of times. They need Henderson.
Yeah, he's there.
I know he's not the best player, but he's their most important player in my opinion. And it's going to be terrible that he's out. They're having a crisis at centre back, and he was filling in there. So now they're going to have even more of a crisis. I don't know who's going to play there. Might even be Wijnaldum soon.
What's happened to Wijnaldum? I haven't actually seen him play.
Wijnaldum's a good player. He's always been a good player. He just doesn't get the credit because for some reason, his Liverpool fans don't appreciate him. They don't appreciate his role.
Curtis Jones has been playing, but Wijnaldum, I think he's been on the bench.
I couldn't tell you exactly because I'm not a Liverpool follower or in terms of their starting lineups, but I know that he has been playing a lot. Curtis Jones has obviously been starting as well. I want to say it's been a midfield 3 of Thiago, Curtis Jones, and Wijnaldum. I'm pretty sure that's their regular 3 in the middle when Henderson's at the back. But he's a very important player for them as well, and he will probably be wearing the now that Henderson's playing.
Yeah. But yeah, that rounds up the Premier League preview. What I will ask you, there's 4 choices: Martial, Firmino, Werner, and those 3. Who's your striker? Martial, Firmino,
for my team,
or Werner? Yeah.
For Man United.
Yeah, who are you choosing?
Martial's 4 goals in the league this season. Honestly, I'd probably pick Timo Werner. because of his pace. He's a better finisher than both of them, and I just think he's better than them. Pick Werner, yeah.
Yeah, I think.
What about you?
I'd probably say. I think Martial. I still think Martial. I still pick Martial. I saw glimpses of what he can do midweek, and I don't know. He just needs that goal. I think he's trying a bit too hard, and just needs to relax when he's in front of goal. Like he's not aiming it correctly. He's aiming at the keeper. He's not picking a corner. He's aiming it too high where the keeper can easily save it. But when he gets that goal, that good goal, I can see him scoring against Chelsea this weekend as well. When he gets that goal, I think that he will change. He'll just have much more confidence, and that's all he needs. It's the same with Rashford when he scored that goal against Newcastle. That goal, he's now being, he's got the confidence to keep going, and that's what Martial needs at the moment.
Martial, 5 years old now. I'm not liking the fact that he picks up the opposition half. He needs to be in and around the box. He needs to be in the box winning. When we run down the line with the wingers or we're trying to create a crossing opportunity and he's outside the box jogging.
Yeah.
That's why he's not scoring. Like he wants his goals to be walked into the back of the net. He wants his goals to be intricate passing, 1-2s with Rashford, just outside the area. That's not how he's going to score the majority of his goals now.
That's the problem. That's the problem. But the thing is, I don't know how it worked last year when we were playing like that. He was getting goals in the box, but obviously this season, we said possibly the signing of Cavani has obviously probably lowered his confidence.
Yeah,
but obviously now his chance is here. Cavani is injured. His chance is here to be the main man, and I think he will take it this game against Chelsea. I saw glimpses yesterday, and yeah, I'm confident in Martial. But if by the end of the season, if he doesn't show what he can do, we have to sell him. We can't have a striker like that. If we don't sell him, we need to sign a striker, definitely.
Yeah, signing Cavani load is confidence. Signing Haaland would do. We need the elite mentality. Martial doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But yeah, that rounds up this episode. Premier League preview of the weekend. Europe catch up. And yeah, thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. And yeah, and let us know who's winning the Champions League, who's going to win Europa League. We'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.